The National Electrical Code, NEC, does not specifically state that overhead service drops can be installed less than 3 feet from a window if they are above the window. However, there is a general requirement in NEC 230.53 ATWO that service drops must be installed where they are not subjected to physical damage from normal use, maintenance, alteration, or repair. A service drop that is less than 3 feet from a window could be subject to damage from a variety of normal activities, including firstly, opening or closing the window, secondly, cleaning the window, thirdly, repairing or replacing the window, and fourthly, climbing on the roof for maintenance. Additionally, the presence of a service drop near a window could create a safety hazard if the service drop were to become damaged and fall. While the NEC does not specifically address this issue, most utility companies and electrical inspectors have adopted a standard practice of requiring a minimum of 3 feet of clearance between overhead service drops and windows. This standard is based on the potential for physical damage and safety concerns. Based on the potential for physical damage and the industry standard, it is recommended to relocate the overhead service drop to be at least 3 feet from the nearest window. This will ensure compliance with the general requirements of the NEC and provide for a safer and more reliable electrical installation. Normal use refers to activities typically conducted around a window, such as opening and closing it for ventilation, cleaning the glass and frame to maintain visibility and aesthetics, or performing routine maintenance in the window itself, like lubricating hinges or replacing weather stripping. Maintenance activities encompass repairs or replacements that might be needed over time, such as fixing a broken window pane, replacing a damaged frame, or repainting the window. Alteration could involve modifications to the window, such as installing storm windows, adding security bars, or changing the window size or configuration. Repair includes fixing any damage to the roof that may require access near the service drop. The potential for physical damage exists because these activities can bring people, tools, or equipment into close proximity with the service drop, increasing the risk of accidental contact or impact. For instance, a ladder used for cleaning or repairing the window could inadvertently hit the service drop, causing damage to the conductors or insulators. Similarly, opening a window forcefully could cause it to strike the service drop if there is insufficient clearance. The safety concerns arise from the possibility of the service drop being damaged, which could lead to electrical hazards such as short circuits, ground faults, or exposed live conductors. If the service drop were to fall or become energized due to damage, it could pose a serious risk of electric shock to anyone in the vicinity. The industry standard of maintaining a 3-foot clearance between overhead service drops and windows is a widely accepted practice among utility companies and electrical inspectors. This standard is based on the collective experience and judgment of professionals in the field, who have observed the potential hazards associated with inadequate clearance. Utility companies often have their own specific requirements for service drop installations, which may exceed the minimum requirements of the NEC. Electrical inspectors typically enforce these standards to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant with applicable codes and regulations. Relocating the overhead service drop to be at least 3 feet from the nearest window is the recommended course of action to address the potential for physical damage and safety concerns. This will ensure that the service drop is adequately protected from accidental contact or impact during normal use, maintenance, alteration, or repair activities. By maintaining a sufficient clearance, the risk of damage to the service drop and the potential for electrical hazards is significantly reduced. Compliance with the general requirements of the NEC is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations. NEC 230.53 ATWO specifically addresses the need to protect service drops from physical damage. By relocating the service drop to be at least 3 feet from the window, the installation will be in compliance with this requirement. A safer and more reliable electrical installation is the ultimate goal of adhering to the NEC and industry standards. By taking the necessary precautions to protect the service drop from physical damage, the likelihood of electrical hazards and service interruptions is minimized. This will provide for a more secure and dependable power supply for the building and its occupants. It's important to consider the specific context of the installation, including the height of the service drop, the type of window, and the surrounding environment. In some cases, a greater clearance may be necessary to adequately protect the service drop. Consulting with a qualified electrical contractor or inspector is recommended to ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and standards. The NEC is a comprehensive set of guidelines for electrical installations, but it is not intended to be a substitute for sound engineering judgment. Electrical professionals must use their knowledge and experience to assess the specific conditions of each installation and make informed decisions about the appropriate methods and materials to use. Regular inspections and maintenance of electrical systems are also essential for ensuring their continued safety and reliability. Over time, service drops can be affected by weather, environmental factors, and physical damage. Periodic inspections can help to identify potential problems before they become serious hazards. In addition to the NEC, local codes and regulations may also apply to electrical installations. It is important to be aware of and comply with all applicable requirements. Local authorities may have specific amendments or interpretations of the NEC that are relevant to the installation. Proper grounding and bonding of electrical systems is critical for preventing electrical shock hazards. The grounding system provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip circuit breakers or fuses and to energize the circuit. Bonding connects all metal parts of the electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault current. Surge protection devices can help to protect electrical equipment from damage caused by voltage surges or spikes. Surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other disturbances in the electrical grid. Arc fault circuit interrupters of size are designed to detect arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. A size can help to prevent fires by de-energizing the circuit when an arc fault is detected. Ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs, are designed to protect people from electrical shock hazards. GFCIs can detect ground faults, which occur when current leaks from a circuit to ground. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI quickly de-energizes the circuit to prevent a shock. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Homeowners, tenants, and electrical professionals all have a role to play in ensuring that electrical systems are safe and reliable. By following the NEC, adhering to industry standards, and taking appropriate precautions, we can all help to prevent electrical accidents and injuries. Always use qualified electrical contractors for any electrical work. Electrical work can be dangerous if it is not performed correctly. Qualified electrical contractors have the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and in accordance with applicable codes and standards. Never attempt to perform electrical work yourself unless you are a qualified electrician. Electricity can be deadly if it is not handled properly. If you are not a qualified electrician, you should never attempt to perform electrical work yourself. Call a qualified electrical contractor for any electrical work that needs to be done. Be aware of the potential hazards associated with electricity. Electricity can be dangerous if it is not treated with respect. Be aware of the potential hazards associated with electricity, such as electrical shock, fires, and explosions. Take precautions to avoid these hazards. Follow all safety rules and guidelines when working with electricity. Safety rules and guidelines are designed to protect people from electrical hazards. Follow all safety rules and guidelines when working with electricity. If you are not sure how to do something safely, ask a qualified electrician for help. Regular maintenance of electrical systems can help to prevent problems. Regular maintenance of electrical systems can help to prevent problems and ensure that they are operating safely and efficiently. Schedule regular inspections of your electrical system by a qualified electrician. Replace any damaged or worn electrical components. Keep electrical panels and equipment clean and free of debris. Trim trees and shrubs that are growing near overhead power lines. Call a qualified electrician if you have any concerns about your electrical system. If you have any concerns about your electrical system, call a qualified electrician for help. Do not try to fix electrical problems yourself. Electrical problems can be dangerous if they are not fixed correctly. A qualified electrician can diagnose and repair electrical problems safely and effectively. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuit. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuit. This will help to prevent electrical shock. Use a voltage tester to make sure that the power is off before you start working. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment (PPE) when working with electricity. Wear appropriate PPE when working with electricity, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated shoes. This will help to protect you from electrical hazards. Do not work with electricity in wet or damp conditions. Do not work with electricity in wet or damp conditions. This can increase the risk of electrical shock. Make sure that the area where you are working is dry and well ventilated. Use only approved electrical equipment and materials. Use only approved electrical equipment and materials that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, AL. This will help to ensure that the equipment and materials are safe and reliable. Do not overload electrical circuits. Do not overload electrical circuits. This can cause the circuit breaker to trip or the fuse to blow. It can also overheat the wiring and create a fire hazard. Use the correct size circuit breaker or fuse for the circuit. Do not use extension cords as a permanent wiring solution. Extension cords are intended for temporary use only. Do not use extension cords as a permanent wiring solution. If you need to extend the reach of an electrical outlet, install a new outlet instead. Keep electrical cords and wires away from heat, water, and sharp objects. Keep electrical cords and wires away from heat, water, and sharp object. This can damage the insulation and create a fire hazard. Inspect electrical cords and wires regularly for damage. Replace any damaged cords or wires. Do not run electrical cords under rugs or carpets. Do not run electrical cords under rugs or carpets. This can trap heat and create a fire hazard. It can also damage the cords. Do not nail or staple electrical cords to walls or ceilings. Do not nail or staple electrical cords to walls or ceilings. This can damage the insulation and create a fire hazard. Use cable ties or other approved methods to secure electrical cords. Do not tamper with electrical meters or other electrical equipment. Do not tamper with electrical meters or other electrical equipment. This is illegal and can be dangerous. If you have a problem with your electrical meter or other electrical equipment, call your utility company. Be aware of the location of overhead power lines. Be aware of the location of overhead power lines. Keep a safe distance from overhead power lines. Do not touch overhead power lines. They are extremely dangerous. If you see a down power line, stay away from it and call your utility company immediately. Teach children about electrical safety. Teach children about electrical safety. Children should be taught not to play with electrical outlets, cords, or appliances. They should also be taught what to do if they see a down power line. Post emergency contact information near the electrical panel. Post emergency contact information near the electrical panel, including the phone number of your utility company and the fire department. This will make it easier to get help in an emergency. Have a fire extinguisher on hand. Have a fire extinguisher on hand in case of an electrical fire. Make sure that the fire extinguisher is rated for electrical fires. Know how to use the fire extinguisher. Call 911 in case of an electrical emergency. Call 911 in case of an electrical emergency, such as an electrical fire or a down power line. Provide the dispatcher with as much information as possible, including the location of the emergency and the nature of the problem. Stay safe and be aware of electrical hazards. By following these electrical safety tips, you can help to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. Electricity is a powerful force, but it can be used safely if it is treated with respect. The information provided in this narration is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrical contractor or inspector for specific recommendations regarding your electrical system. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay current with the latest edition. Changes to the code may affect the requirements for electrical installations. The NEC is available for purchase from the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA. The NFPA also offers training and certification programs for electrical professionals. Continuing education is essential for electrical professionals to stay up to date on the latest codes, standards, and technologies. Continuing education courses can help electrical professionals to improve their knowledge and skills and to provide better service to their customers. Many states and local jurisdictions require electrical professionals to complete continuing education courses to maintain their licenses or certifications. Consider future needs when planning electrical installations. When planning electrical installations, it is important to consider future needs. Will you need to add more circuits or outlets in the future? Will you be installing any new appliances or equipment? Planning for future needs can help to avoid costly and time-consuming upgrades later on. Use energy-efficient electrical equipment and appliances. Use energy-efficient electrical equipment and appliances to save money on your energy bills and reduce your environmental impact. Look for the Energy Star label when purchasing electrical equipment and appliances. Energy Star products meet strict energy efficiency guidelines set by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency (EPA). Consider installing solar panels to generate your own electricity. Consider installing solar panels to generate your own electricity. Solar panels can help you to reduce your reliance on the electrical grid and save money on your energy bills. Solar panels are becoming increasingly affordable and efficient. Take advantage of government incentives and tax credits for solar panel installations. Participate in energy conservation programs offered by your utility company. Many utility companies offer energy conservation programs to help customers save energy and money. These programs may include rebates for energy-efficient appliances, home energy audits, and weatherization assistance. Be a responsible user of electricity. Be a responsible user of electricity. Turn off lights and appliances when you are not using them. Unplug electronic devices when they are not in use. Use power strips to turn off multiple devices at once. By following these energy conservation tips, you can help to reduce your energy consumption and save money on your energy bills. Report any electrical hazards to the appropriate authorities. Report any electrical hazards to the appropriate authorities, such as your utility company or the fire department. This will help to prevent accidents and injuries. If you see a down power line, stay away from it and call your utility company immediately. If you smell gas near electrical equipment, evacuate the area immediately and call your utility company or the fire department. Remember, electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following these tips, you can help to protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. Be aware of the potential dangers of electricity and take precautions to avoid accidents. Electricity is a powerful force that can be used safely if it is treated with respect. Always consult with a qualified electrical contractor or inspector for any electrical work that needs to be done. Do not attempt to perform electrical work yourself unless you are a qualified electrician. Stay safe and be aware of electrical hazards. The 3-foot clearance recommendation is a general guideline and may not be sufficient in all cases. Factors such as the voltage of the service drop, the height of the window, and the presence of other objects or structures nearby may necessitate a greater clearance. It is important to carefully assess the specific conditions of each installation and to consult with a qualified electrical contractor or inspector to determine the appropriate clearance. Utility companies often have their own specific requirements for service drop installations, which may exceed the minimum requirements of the NEC. These requirements may vary depending on the location and the type of service. It is important to contact your local utility company to determine their specific requirements before installing a service drop. Electrical inspectors are responsible for enforcing the NEC and other applicable codes and standards. They may have different interpretations of the code or different requirements for electrical installations. It is important to work closely with your electrical inspector to ensure that your installation is compliant with all applicable requirements. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive document. It is not always easy to understand or interpret. There are many resources available to help you understand the NEC, including books, websites, and training courses. You can also consult with a qualified electrical contractor or inspector for assistance. The NEC is constantly evolving to reflect changes in technology and industry practices. It is important to stay up to date with the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. The NEC is an essential tool for electrical professionals and anyone else who is involved in electrical work. By following the NEC, we can help to ensure that electrical installations are safe and reliable. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility.